let's say the blues crab is 50 bucks, you'd have to go through 5 of them, like play one, break it, play one, break it, play one, break it. You'd have to go through 5 of them before you've broken even with the cost of a blues breaker by Marshall. Hey, welcome back to Every Note Counts. Today we're going to be checking out the reissue of the Blues Breaker by Marshall, and we are going to compare it to the $45 Blues Crab by Moore. But we're going to play it right side up. If you're gigging, you might consider a $250 pedal that you know is going to stand the test of the road. But then again, maybe you only need to spend $45 if you're just playing at home and not smashing the pedals with your feet. And every once in a while you can click this on and get a little bit of a blues breaker flavor. Maybe that would better meet your needs and your budget. So let's see how these sound when we compare them to each other. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's look down on the floor and see what we have. Here's the Blues Crab, and you see we have the level, tone, and gain. And those are going to correspond to the volume, tone, and gain on the Blues Breaker. So let's just start this thing at 12 o'clock for tone and gain. Tone and gain. So one thing that's important to know about circuits is, even if they sourced these components from the exact same factories, there are tolerances, and so even if you set the pedals up the exact same, if I had, for example, 2 Blues Breaker circuits from Blues Breaker, truly made by Marshall, sitting next to each other, there will be some differences between how they sound, even though the knob placement might be in the exact same place because of those tolerances. So you might have to turn the tone up a little bit on one of the pedals to be as trebly as another pedal, even though they're made in the same factory by the same people. Let's check out my bass tone here. I'm running through the Victory V140 and 30 watt setting, and I'm playing a Fender Custom Shop, and believe it or not, this is actually blue, faded sonic blue with fat 60s pickups in it. I'll mostly play on the neck. Here's the neck. So here I am playing on the neck of this Stratocaster. Click on that Blues Crab. So you immediately hear some more of that gain. If I pick light, still crispy. Okay, let's switch between these now. Whoa! Okay, that is everything at noon, and that Blues Breaker is so muffled. Let's see. Okay, that's more in the ballpark. So I'll adjust the tone on the Blues Breaker, bring it down a little bit, because right now it sounds clearer than the Blues Crab. Maybe that's just a matter of where the tone setting is. I don't think that solved it. We have more mids here in the Marshall Blues Breaker. The Blues Crab sounds a little bit more tinny, a little bit more crispy in a bad way. It's a little too fizzy. So let's try adjusting that tone knob and see what we get. The Blues Breaker sounds a lot better. I'm trying Blues Crab. I'm trying to let you shine here in the sense of make that Blues Crab sound as good as it can so we can see what you're bringing to the table at this price point. Little too tinny, too much high frequency. I'm bringing that tone knob down some more. Definitely made it thicker. I'm going to come down on the gain. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring the gain down on the Blues Crab and see if that reduces some of the brittleness that I'm hearing in those upper frequencies. That made it too dark. Okay, so now the Blues Crab sounds flat. The Blues Breaker now sounds a little too crispy. Yeah, I'm gonna fatten that up and bring down the gain a little bit. Let's just set the Marshall Blues Breaker at a place that I really like it, and then we'll see if the Blues Crab can replicate it. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's not about how versatile one is over the other. It's about, can I get a great sound out of the Marshall Blues Breaker, and then can I replicate that with the Blues Crab? Okay, so I tweaked the Blues Breaker a little bit. This is where I like it. You can see the settings down below. Everything is at about 1 o'clock. It's almost at 2 o'clock, Mick from That Pedal Show. Are you proud of me? Okay, here's how it sounds. So clearly I'll need to adjust the Blues Crab some. That's pretty close. And I could chase this for a while, but that's not what you came here to see. You came here to see how the Blues Breaker circuit sounds, how the Blues Crab sounds, and if it will approximate these Blues Breaker reissue pedals. And it does. I believe it does a good job approximating the Blues Breaker reissue. The Blues Crab pedals are selling right now on Amazon for about $45 here in March of 2023. And the Blues Breaker from Marshall came out here recently, and those are selling for $250 in the United States. So is it worth another $200 basically to get the Marshall Blues Breaker? Well, that's something you're gonna have to answer for yourself. I prefer the small footprint of the Blues Crab. I prefer the name Marshall on the Blues Breaker. I do think I prefer the sound of the Blues Breaker a little bit more, but not $200 more. That being said, if you're gigging with this kind of a circuit all the time, maybe it is worth it just to grab the Marshall. If you're not gigging all the time and the pedal's just gonna be sitting around on the floor most of the time, not exposed to elements or road conditions, then the Blues Crab might be right up your alley. Like I said, you'd have to go through 5 of them before you broke even with the cost of a Marshall Blues Breaker. But if I was gigging and I didn't want to be worried about things like build quality or anything like that, Blues Breaker seems like the safe bet. I don't know anything about Marshall customer service, but I also don't know anything about Moore customer service. I just kind of assumed that Marshall would be attentive to their people. I hope that's true. If you've ever had issues with Marshall pedals or products, let me know in the comments how quickly they took care of your issues. At the end of the day, I'm not sure I'm holding on to the Blues Breaker. I'm undecided. I am going to keep the Blues Crab because I don't think I can get $45 back for it. And if I'm traveling somewhere and I don't want to be worried about the pedals I'm taking with me, the Blues Crab doesn't have any noise or hiss in it. I like the circuit it's based on. If someone stole it or if it got lost, I would be upset, but I wouldn't be crushed like I would with a $200+ pedal. We'll see if the blues breaker stays. I'm not sure yet. I definitely want to keep it long enough to decide if it's as good as the carbon and the protein by brown amplification. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, make every note count.